BEERZERKER! Yeah!
Milsurp Garage. We're going to talk today about John Pedersen and some of his designs. An interesting video to watch if you're really interested in a total comprehensive view of everything Pedersen put out. Is a Forgotten Weapons video on John Pedersen stuff. I'm pretty sure he has like an example of everything posted up there. But the thing about Pedersen is he was definitely a visionary. He was a contemporary of John Browning, and John Browning, who, you know how much I respect John Browning really respected this guy and called him like the greatest gun designer ever. John Browning was definitely a fan of this guy's stuff. And the way Browning looked at it, you know, he was on his way out and Pedersen was on his way in. And he knew what this guy was capable of, you know what I mean? And spoke very highly of him. And Pedersen, through the years, he was always kind of like a victim of circumstance. You know what I mean? Like, his timing was bad. And it wasn't even like it was his fault. It was just bad luck timing all through his career. Which might have something to do with the success of some of his designs, but doesn't necessarily have anything to do with how awesome they were. But unfortunately, because they just didn't really catch on for collectors, that's a good thing. A lot of the stuff he put out it's for very, very high dollar collections, very, very rare stuff, out of the grasp for most of us. Like the Pedersen GY rifle, which was kind of like a, we'll work our way backwards here. So the GY rifle was kind of like his answer to the Grand in a way. Very limited numbers. This is just a huge collector's piece if you find one of these things. There's the Vickers Pedersen rifle, or I guess just what's one more commonly known as the Pedersen rifle. There's some of these out there, but just not a tremendous amount there. Toggle lock, semi-automatic design. Again, just awesome design, but didn't catch on. I think these things he even devised, kind of like how Browning would do, he even devised his own round for these things, which again, didn't catch on. For one reason or another. Basically just bad timing, you know what I mean? Like war's ending just when he invents stuff or things like that, you know? And of course the Pedersen device, this thing is actually just straight up named after him. But where else have you ever seen, you know, for war, you have a bolt action rifle assigned, you know, assigned to all your fighters, and he comes out with a thing that you just slip right into the rifle, turns it into a semi-automatic rifle with a detachable magazine. Excellent design, just bad timing. The war ended and they pretty much just melted those things down and got rid of them. They're just very rare now. So it's like, well, where do we get our hands on anything Pedersen? It almost seems like out of reach. But as I'm going to show you, there's a couple of things that just kind of got forgotten that are out there and you could definitely, absolutely get your hands on. And I guess if we went in chronological order, the first one of these things would be the good old Model 10. This is a shotgun that is a Pedersen design. We've done videos on this before. There's no side loading or ejection port. It all happens through the bottom here, and has this like really interesting design with this flapper here. Really wild. I have this riot gun kind of configuration here that's marked military marked here, But I always wanted to just get and since it's, you know, this type of configuration, it's, what do you call it, cylinder bore. You can't really go out and shoot trap with it. Man, I love to shoot my trap, and I'd love to have a Model 10 with just a 30-inch barrel, full choke. You know what I mean? I really want to go there one of these days. But these things are very surprising. 1908 to 1929. People don't think they're that old, but that's how old they are. This is a 1927. So a lot of these Pedersen designs, they fool you, especially with Remington. They just call things weird names sometimes, being that that's the Model 10. With Remington, typically you knock 2 years off of it, and that's pretty much you know, when it came out. Next up here, we have a nice 22 that we can play around with. This is a straight up Pedersen design. The 12, Model 12. This is a 12C, 1909 to 1938. And I just had a video, what do you call it, a comment on a video just a couple hours ago from a guy, Jeff Gailey, that said he has this rifle. It was his great-grandfather's, and this guy is 68 years old, and he's got his great-grandfather's gun. So these Pedersen designs, man, they are old. But check out how awesome this thing. Look at that butt plate. These things aren't expensive. They're out there. I mean, yeah, these kind of like gallery guns started creeping up. I think I got in just in time. I got in just before the craze got real stupid. But how nice. Octagonal barrel. You know what's really cool here? I had always known that the slide release was here, pressing here. But I never noticed that it also carries through under the trigger guard. And there's a little bulbous piece right here that you could press to control that. Never knew that. So when it's in your hand like this, you could reach up with your finger and press there to release. I didn't even know that was there. How do you like that? So that's the good old Remington Model 12. 12C, this one is. Then, this is so commonly forgotten. This awesome deer rifle here, the Model 14. And this thing was chambered in all those crazy cartridges, the Remington, the 30, 32 Remington, 30 whatever. This is the what do you call it? The 35 Remington, which is a good one to get it in because this is the common round that you could just buy these days. You know what I mean? So where is it? Let's see, what do we got here? Here's the 35 Remington. Here's the info on it, and it's this. This is a Hornady handbook of cartridge reloading. So of course, they got to talk about their own stuff. This FTX bullet right here is this with this plastic tip. It's kind of like rubberized plastic tip. So supposedly for here, look, this was introduced for the Model 8 semi-auto, and then later for the Model 14. So right in there, the Model 14 was 1913 to 1934. It was made. Here's that round, by the way. This HX, what is it? HXT, FTX. Sorry, I'm working up with HXT. But yeah, that's this round with these lever evolution rounds that would protect from primers striking tips of bullets inside of magazine tubes. However, I'm going to show you Pedersen, in all his wisdom, he came up with this really cool spiral action here that what that would do is, I want to show you something else wild here. See how the magazine tube travels with the pump? That was something that that was like Pedersen's thing. See, same thing here with the Model 12, the 22. The magazine tube moves here with the pump. So it's not really like the rounds are coming down the tube and being fed up. It's kind of like they're being delivered. It's like kind of like they're delivered to the lifter. A little bit of a different design, different than Browning, but works really well. One weird thing here is I can't find a sling swivel for this because it's 1/2 inch wide. This is a typical sling swivel here on the back. I have ones that fit here. But this width, try to find a 1/2 inch wide mount sling swivel. Can't find it. So, yeah, it's a button in here as the slide release. And man, is this actually smooth. That's what these are known for. And also, see this front lock up here? See that? It tilts down. And then on return, it tilts up. The lockup is right up in here. And you can see it's beefed up here. You can see how the receiver is beefed here. And again, his designs, they were always very similar. Watch the bolt. See the bolt? Same thing. Lock up in the roof of the receiver there from the front of the bolt. See it? Same thing. The mortise is up on the top there. These two rifles follow, they might look different, but they follow a lot of the same concepts. And right, and that spiraling of the rounds right here to prevent one from setting the next one off. Oh, is this actually smooth? And what else? What was I saying about these things? Oh, the dating of them. So it's 1913 to 1934 these were made. The Model 8 was 1911 to 1936. So the Model 8 came out first, but believe it or not, I think these things back then were more popular. Here's the Model 8 right here, semi-automatic, of course, but these things way ahead of their time. Chambered in 35 Remington as well. Way ahead of their time, though. It's almost like people were not ready for semi-automatics just yet, and believe it or not, they just love that pump action. And I'm pretty sure that the 14 actually sold better than these things. One cool aspect is, see this butt plate right here? Oh, it's kind of odd. It has the heel is on the bottom, not on the top. Here's the Model 14. Believe it or not, they share a butt plate. I mean, these are the same butt plates. It shares a butt plate. How wild is that? Something between a Pedersen rifle and a Browning design that they share. Then, last and certainly not least, 1918 to 1927, he comes in with a pistol. Now this thing is loaded, but with my realistic snap caps. These are completely inert. These are training rounds. These are completely inert. No primer, no powder, no nothing. We could check to see. Breech is loaded. Magazine is loaded. Here's our realistic snap caps. We have a silicone primer for firing pin protection, realistic weight, realistic feel, realistic look, realistic action. I just wanted to load these up to show you just how smooth this thing operates. Just how smooth it is, actually. It's amazing. It's interesting that it has a grip safety here. This grip safety holds the slide open. You insert a fully loaded mag. Squeeze to load. Look how smooth it is. It's awesome. Definitely awesome. Now, one cool thing about this whole Remington pistol thing for 1918, here's a Remington book. Okay, Remington Handguns by Carr. All right, check this out. We're going to do a flip through here. We're going to look at what, from the very, very beginning of what Remington started, when Remington started making pistols. Let's look at these designs all through the years. We're covering, we skipped ahead some. We're covering many, many years here. All kinds of designs. And all of a sudden, at the end, boom, this is the end of the book here. That's what we hit. So unique from any other Remington designs, the Model 51. And it has that Pedersen feel to it. It has that Pedersen solid feel. That sleek kind of feel that all his stuff had. It's just smooth. Everything about it's smooth. And that's the Model 51. I love this thing. It's a very unique design too if you pour into it and you really take a quick look. So these are some attainable designs here from Pedersen. You could find one of these. They're just not that crazy popular. There were people that were in love with this guy. Like famous people. Didn't Patton carry one of these around, or some famous general or something? But the Model 14, the Model 51, this awesome 22. If you're into these these gallery gun 22s, this Model 12, it's freaking amazing. And then do some trap shooting with a Model 10. So it's so nice what he does have available to the general public, let's say. It's kind of cool. A lot of his military stuff, that's the expensive stuff. But the Model 10 you go trap shooting with. Do some plinking with the kid with the Pedersen 22. You go to the handgun range, play around with doing some target shooting. I mean, you could really shoot well with this thing too. It's like very modern with the magazine release on your thumb. It's very common, you know, semi-automatic. It's just it's going to feel very modern to you, even though it's a gun from 1918. See, that's the surprising thing. It's the Model 51. A lot of people are like, oh, it's from the 50s. Yeah, it looks like it's from the 50s. No, 1918 was the first year, and by 27, this thing was gone. Any of these that you find are going to be older than 1928. But they're out there. But that Model 51 thing throws you off. A lot of people think these things are older than they really are. And then want to do some hunting, some more powerful rifle shooting. The Remington, the 35 Remington is a very capable round. And you got yourself a nice tight deer rifle right here. So you could just run the gambit with Pedersen if you really wanted to. So I thought it'd just be fun to throw some of these designs down. Somebody wanted a little bit more on one of these. Somebody was asking a little bit more about one of those. I have videos on all of these guns up there if you really want to get more in depth, but I like my Pedersen stuff. You know, you can go to the range and you could just have a Pedersen day. Do some rifle shooting, some 22 shooting. Go to the handgun range. Trap shooting, rifle shooting, everything. Sticking with Pedersen. Thanks a lot, guys. See you soon.
BEERZERKER!